180 not out, we're going strong. 180 not out, the game goes on.
Hello, and welcome to this very special episode of 180 Not Out. To be honest, every episode is special by itself. But this is a special category of episode because this is the first of our mini episodes where you get to hear what your favorite players have to say about different topics. In this very first episode, listen to what your favorite players have to say about 180 years of the sport. I asked them their views on the journey of cricket, along with a simple question: has cricket aged well? First, listen to Harbhajan Singh, who gives me a very emotional response to this question and expresses the importance of cricket in his life.
Oh yes, of course. I think if you look back, where cricket was and where cricket is today, it's an unbelievable journey. And कितने लोगों का जो है वो जीवन बनाया है क्रिकेट ने. So इस गेम का जितना हम भगवान का शुक्रिया करते हैं, उतना अगर क्रिकेट का भी शुक्रिया करेंगे वो कम होगा, क्योंकि you take cricket out of my game, I'm zero. We are all here because of cricket, and this is amazing, how the game have evolved और कैसे गेम आगे की तरफ बढ़ रहा है. और every day, we are getting more audience who are joining the game. And cricket ज़िंदगी में नहीं होती तो I don't know मैं क्या होता. तो मैं इसलिए कहता हूँ मेरे नाम में चाहे सी नहीं है, बट मेरे जीवन में क्रिकेट का प्रभाव बहुत है. तो ये क्रिकेट मेरी ज़िंदगी से हटा दें तो मुझे नहीं लगता कि मैं अपने आप को किसी भी तरीके का देखता. खोटे सिक्के थे और जब चले तो ऐसे चले कि बल्ले बल्ले.
I asked the same question to South African legend Hashim Amla, who tells me that not only has it aged well, but cricket has also grown younger over the years. However, he also points out some things that he finds concerning in this 180-year-old journey of the sport.
Certainly over the last maybe 20 years, it's some would say it got older, some would say it got younger, right? Depending on which spectrum you see it. I think it's got younger because it certainly has now, reaching a bigger audience, even though the cricket itself has largely changed from Test cricket to T20 and franchise cricket. So I think it's got younger. I think it's aged well. It's still a big challenge that to maintain Test cricket for all the Test playing nations, to maintain that type of honor and prestige in it, and that every board will have to address. But I think it's aged good. I mean, the fact that you still have wow moments in cricket is, for me, is something that I really enjoy, and for me it says, cricket is still exciting and it's still something I want to watch.
Another interesting perspective came from New Zealand's Ross Taylor, who points out that cricket is going through an interesting time. And he also points out about a soccer parallel.
I think it's in for an interesting 5 to 10 years, I think, at an international level. We're seeing a lot more leagues pop up around the world. And the international game is probably suffering a little bit because of that. I think we're at the crossroads, and I hope we can still have international cricket as the pinnacle, and it doesn't go to a soccer model where you play soccer for your franchise and then you play international cricket afterwards. I hope it's still international cricket and then you can still play in the franchise model, because I think it's still, international cricket's still good, but it's like anything. You got to evolve, and I'm sure the administrators have got their work cut out for them over the coming years with technology. But here we are, as we said before, doing the interviews. I have no idea where we're going to be.
Next, listen to Tino Best, who compares cricket to life and how there are ups and downs in both of them.
From W.G. Grace to Virat Kohli. Come on, even the shoes have evolved. So I think that cricket has aged beautifully. I think that it is the second most popular sport in the entire world. And I think that is massive for our sport. And I will always be humble, I will always be thankful for this game. because it's given me every single thing. And when I share this game with my next generation, I want to make sure I let them know that cricket is like life. 1 minute you're up, 1 minute you're down, but just like life. But what's going to make you a man and what's going to make you a good cricketer or a good human being holistically is keep driving, keep fighting, keep striving for excellence. And that's what the game of sports is, and holistically. You know what I mean? So cricket to me has aged beautifully.
When it comes to aging, one metaphor that we often associate is that of a bottle of a wine, which gets better with age. Many cricketers actually compared cricket to a well-aged wine. Listen to S. Badrinath, who points out that while cricket has aged well, the process of this evolution needs to pick up some speed.
It's aged well, yes, but I think it's aging a little bit like a wine, fine wine. It's a little bit slow, but it is the game is changing, but I still feel that there is a lot more needs to change, and it needs to change a little fast. I think because it needs to grow, the game needs to grow. I think the World Cup still is being played with 10 nations. I think it should be played with 15, 20, 25. That's the growth for you. That's, you have to take it on a world stage. And how do you do that? You make it more interesting. You make it, you know, I'm for one, मैं तो एक आदमी हूँ ये अभी लेके आया IPL में सुपर सब. It's a बहुत बढ़िया चीज, impact player. Forgive me, impact player rule लेके आया. I think अभी 11 लोग से 12 प्लेयर को अभी मौका मिल रहा है. एक और एक्स्ट्रा बैट्समैन उसका स्किल्स दिखा सकते हैं. एक और एक्स्ट्रा बॉलर को मौका मिल रहा है उधर खेलने का, और कोच को भी सोचने का, मतलब बहुत ज़्यादा ऑप्शंस है. सो ये सब चीज़ होना है, ज़्यादा इनोवेशन, ज़्यादा मतलब क्रिकेट को इंटरेस्टिंग और कैसे कर सकते हैं, ये सब चीज़ देखने का. येस, इट्स एज्ड वेल, बट आई लव टू सी इट एज लिटिल बिट मोर फास्ट.
My friend, former Indian fast bowler S. Srishant also compares cricket to wine. But he specifically points out that how the fitness of the players have evolved over the years.
It's aged like a proper wine. It's aged really well, and with the technology, the conversation which we had, I think it's only going to get better and better. It's just huge thanks to Virat. In fact, when it comes to fitness of Indian cricket team or even across the globe, a lot of people look up to him. So when I look at the fitness part at that time and now, because there were never so many matches. Now there are so many matches, but still they are so fit and they're raring to go. So I think it is only going to get better and better, and the evolution of cricket, I think we should actually have a show on this.
Now listen to Universe boss Chris Gale reflecting on this journey of cricket.
Well, I know I age well for sure. You know, I mean, I age like fine wine, a nice, fine, beautiful glass of wine. So, you know, I mean, it actually age well. You know, because it's keep growing, and we keep getting new fans. You know, within the sport as well. You know, it only can get bigger and better. You know, but like I said, it's aged well. From a personal point of view, I have no regrets. You know, but I enjoy each and every moment up until today.
Another very interesting point came from Kevin Peterson, the legendary English batter, who points out that in this process of aging over 180 years, cricket is actually going through a midlife crisis at the moment. Listen to KP.
I think there's a midlife crisis happening at the moment with cricket. That's what I think. And I say that because players are starting to wobble between formats. Players are starting to think about just actually playing one format. There's so much cricket that's happening at the moment. I don't like the fact that Australia can beat India in Ahmedabad last weekend, and then you've got headlines today with Indian headlines saying our revenge against Australia is so quick. Like, for me, it just doesn't stack up, because you should be able to win a World Cup and go and enjoy the World Cup. To be playing a couple of days later, it really doesn't stack up. So, I mean, England are playing now in the Caribbean. They had a dreadful World Cup. They're home, and they're already playing cricket again now. So, I think it's midlife crisis time. My fear and my worry is Test cricket, and I just hope that Test cricket survives with the big nations. Here, that huge marquee series, India versus England in a month's time, magnificent. The Ashes, magnificent. India, South Africa, magnificent. If the politics can work, and India versus Pakistan is just, I mean, it just breaks TV stations, right? It's just huge. Australia versus the Gavaskar, the Border Gavaskar Trophy. All of these, like, I think the iconic series, I hope they survive and they really thrive. But so much cricket now, so much.
Here is what Pragyan Ojha, ace Indian spinner, has to say about how cricket has aged over the years and how it has been becoming more of an international sport of late.
Absolutely, it has aged well. हम देख सकते हैं किस तरीके का इम्पैक्ट है. वापस आप जैसे कहा, आपने कहा कि अमेरिका के बारे में, अभी फिर वापस वर्ल्ड कप अमेरिका में होने वाला है. तो आई थिंक ग्लोबल स्पोर्ट धीरे धीरे बन रहा है. इंडिया अभी बहुत कोशिश कर रही है, आईसीसी कोशिश कर रही है. हमने देखा LA28 में क्रिकेट को ऐड किया गया ओलंपिक्स में. तो ये एक अच्छा कहते हैं एक रोड मैप बन चुका है. अब तक हमने देखा है कि क्रिकेट अच्छे तरीके से जा रहा है. अब यहाँ से कैसे जाएगा डिपेंड करेगा कि किस तरीके से हम इवॉल्व होते हैं, क्योंकि अगर इवॉल्व होना बंद कर देंगे तो कोई भी फील्ड में हम स्टैग्नेट हो जाएंगे. तो मुझे लगता है इवॉल्व होना बड़ा ज़रूरी है. फ्लिप साइड हमेशा रहता है, लेकिन इवॉल्व होना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है.
Lastly, listen to former Indian player Mohammad Kaif talking about how cricket has not only aged well, but it has also given hope to many people. With newer teams coming up and performing considerably well, and with the power dynamics of cricket shifting, there is much to look forward to.
आई थिंक क्रिकेट हैज़ कम अ लॉन्ग वे. जैसे आपने बताया कि इतना पुराना इतिहास है. पहले वेस्ट इंडीज़ का दबदबा था, उसके बाद ऑस्ट्रेलिया आई, फिर और कंट्री ने टेक ओवर किया.
ओलंपिक स्पोर्ट बन रहा है.
ओलंपिक स्पोर्ट बन रहा है. श्रीलंका जैसे छोटा सा जो आइलैंड है, उसने वर्ल्ड कप जीत लिया. उसने इंस्पायर किया, अरे यार आप ज़रूरी नहीं कि आप 1.5 या 2 बिलियन वाली आबादी वाला देश ही मैच जीतेगा, ऐसा नहीं है. पाकिस्तान जीता वर्ल्ड कप, श्रीलंका जीता, इंडिया जीता. तो I think it has come a long way. Now I've seen in the World Cup recently, Netherlands beating South Africa. It was a big deal. Afghanistan beating England, Afghanistan beating Pakistan. So I think अफगानिस्तान जैसी टीम भी आगे आ रही, तो I think बहुत बड़ा चेंज आ गया, बदलाव आया क्रिकेट में.
180 years is a long time. The first international game of cricket was played in 1844, when the US faced British Empire's Canadian province in 1844. From there to 2024, when the US faced Canada at the T20 World Cup this year, the game has not only made a huge progress, but has also come full circle in a way. I'm your host, Raman Raheja. Keep listening to 180 Not Out for more interesting stories from the world of cricket, as I talk to 60 plus legends of the sport who give me insights on their game, or should I say, your game. Make sure to follow 180 Not Out on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. I'll see you next Monday with a whole new episode.
From humble beginnings, it started as a game. A battle ball, a field, and players with no fame. But little did they know, cricket would soon ignite a passion that would last through day and night. 180 not out, we're going strong. 180 not out, the game goes on. Through every boundary, every six we hit. 180 not out, cricket's our endless spirit. Yeah. Cricket's our endless spirit. Not a little boundary, every six we hit. 180 not out, cricket's our endless spirit. That's our endless spirit.